Defense made a motion for a mistrial. Prosecutor was up to some fuckery. Potentially damaging evidence, no basis for it. The judge specifically said, do not ask that question. Do not use that as evidence. She walked right down the path and asked the question. It may be over on Tuesday morning. Batman Bruce Wayne bitch snitch. Gerald Brooks, your constitution does not apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen, a traveler on the land. I'm the Moorish Empire or whatever, bitch snitch. Because they're so fucking absurd. If you want to be a sovereign citizen, just do yourself a favor first. Go to YouTube here and just get every sovereign citizen that's ever been before. Find me one that won. God dang, you're right. Don't go down this. It's not the path. Don't have time for stupidity. Some clever dick on the internet didn't find the great loophole in all of the world's law. Bitch snitch. God dang, you're right. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. God dang, you're right. Moorish Empire. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. Moorish Empire. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch.
He's the best lawyer in Miami.
That's me, and I have to do something. I didn't get time to do what I wanted to do. I'm torn apart. I'm behind. I just needed just a couple of more seconds, and I could have done this. I've got things to do. You guys are missing out on something decent. Dang it. All right. We'll just get to it when it finally decides to finish uploading. How are we doing, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What is up with all of you? I am here, and of course, not everything goes to plan. It is what it is. We are here Thursdays for the Donald Hartung trial, the retro trial from 2020 involving an allegedly witchcraft-related ritualistic murder. We've seen 0% witchcraft and 0% ritual so far in the previous 2 episodes of this. We'll have to see how it goes. All right, let's see if it's finished doing what I wanted to do. Yes, it has finished doing what I wanted it to do. This is what was supposed to have followed grounds. But I didn't get it loaded in time. So that didn't happen at the right time. But it will. It'll be in place again for next week, I guess. Assuming that there actually is any allegations of witchcraft or ritual murder involved. But all right. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Let me see who's all here and what are y'all doing? Looks like we've got everybody. We've got the mod squad is here. Hey, mod squad. What's up, Tammy? Tammy Fayette's here. What's up, Tammy? Island. Hey, how you doing? So far, this guy doesn't seem like the witchcraft type, so I'm fascinated. He doesn't? If there's ever been a defendant that may have been involved in witchcraft, it seems like it would be this guy. Or he looks like someone who's being kept alive through witchcraft. I wouldn't put it past him, but because we'll have to see how it comes out. We'll have to see how it turns all out. Can't wait for YNW Melly again. We're still months and months and months away from that getting resolved. We'll be lucky to get to Melly by the end of this year. It's a sad, sad thing. We need a Melly retrial. there's not even anything to update on. So, okay, let me see. Hey, everybody. Oh, good to see you here, Danielle. It's been a minute, girl. All right. Joe, what's up, Joe? Okay, everybody. Aussie Just Jen is here. He looks like he's been embalmed. He only comes out when like the werewolves start attacking. But anywho, let's see. I guess that's kind of it. The zombie jaw thing last week. Oh, this is still the same day as last week. So for us, it's next week, but for them, it's same day. So I would be looking for the same thing to be happening. New hat? No, this is an ancient hat. I've worn this many, many, many times. Just I don't know why it looks new. It's dusty. It's got a dog hair on it. Now this is one of my old hats. Anyway, we don't really have much to talk about before we jump in. We've got 112 people here joining for part 3 of the Donald Hartung trial. So far, we've got a little bit of information. Let's do a quick recap. See if in chat if I miss anything here. He went over to the house where his mother and 2 stepbrothers lived and made them dinner every Tuesday. And apparently he was written out of the will. The prosecution alleges that's part of the motive for why he committed these murders, allegedly. But the defense has an interesting motion. He is Donald Hartung Sr., and Donald Hartung Jr. was written out of the will. So the prosecution says typo. Defense says it wasn't him. He wasn't specifically mentioned, so he was still in the will. So there's a little bit of debate there. But he allegedly came over and made dinner on one Tuesday, and that was the last time anyone saw any family members, was that Tuesday. Around Friday, someone from one of his half-brothers' work came over. His brother worked for Homeland Security in the IT department, came over to do a wellness check because they hadn't heard from him for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 3 days. And they found them this was in July, I believe. So they found blood and stuff everywhere. 3 bodies in the house. They'd been locked up in a house in July with no air conditioning in Florida, and they were buried under piles and piles of nice hot blankets. So it was pretty ripe in there, I would imagine. And one cop said he was very emotional and nervous. The other cop said he wasn't emotional or nervous at all. So they kind of contradicted each other a little bit. Am I missing anything important? There was still Tuesday's dinner. There was still some leftovers in the stove inside the oven. And that's just about all we've got so far. Now we've got the forensic examiner lady on the stand who's telling us all about the blood stains, the evidence and they're a very, very messy house too. It's kind of hoardery in there. There's a lot of hoarding. It looks like a lot of dirt, a lot of filth, just icky inside. And she's going through all of the gross stuff that's there. I mean, it's just, bleh. And I guess that's kind of it. So, all right, everybody, now that we're ready to go, we got 150 here. Not only do we have 150 concurrent viewers, we have one Aussie.
G'day. Just switching the camera over. I'll be there in a second. Sorry, I know I'm late. We were going through the Laura Owens batshit craziness because I was getting myself up to date on it.
Groovin'. Well, we're just getting ready to jump in. So and Aussie is never late. He arrives precisely when he's meant to.
I'm frequently late. We know this. Chat won't let me off the hook on that.
Well, welcome. You're not late to me because we just got our background stuff out of the way. We're just about ready to get into Nosferatu's trial here again.
Sweet.
So, all right, take our like and subscribe poll. 156 people crawling in, 73 likes. Half of you, as always, have not done your job. You 50% that never do your job need to do your job. All you got to do is reach down there and just flick that little like button and flick that little subscribe button. And if you have already flicked that little subscribe button, flick it again. Well, don't flick it again unless it's not subscribed anymore. Just if you're unsubscribed, because YouTube occasionally unsubscribes people, just hit it again to make sure. Just look at it to make sure. Don't hit it again to make sure, because that'll turn it off. You know what I mean? I've had a bad day, okay? I was the last one out of the office, and I hate being the last one out of the office. Especially when I'm the last one out of the office because of other people in the office. That's what I hate more. And I mean,
Was it you know who, or was it something? From the
yeah,
board?
part of it. Yeah, a good deal of it. So yeah, I was the last person out of the office due to other people in the office. But then I calmed down, and then I got home. And by the time I'd walked in the door, I'd told my front door and Strawberry's water bowl to F off. So that's where we are. We're gonna have a little bit of muscle relaxant involved in the stream tonight, I think. So anyway, let's there. That was very cathartic. Thank you for letting me rant, everyone. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Catharsis, not to be confused with Cthulhu, because that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I figured as long as we're doing this trial and they keep trying to witchcraft it up and ritual murder it up, I'm going to be smoking my Monster Series pipes. We've got a bunch of Monster Series pipes. So today we're going to be using the Cthulhu pipe. There we go. There's the Cthulhu pipe. Got some nice tentacles down there on the bottom. We've got that's the other side of the Cthulhu pipe. He's looking at you. Hey, looking at you. Nice deep bowl. I like the fin on the two fins on the stem. But yeah, this is my Cthulhu pipe. This is a one of a kind. Only one of these exists on planet Earth. Custom made job. That'll be the first pipe. All right.
Jeff did a custom job on his pipe. I love it.
Yeah. I paid someone to do a custom job on my pipe. Paid them a lot of money, and they did a very good job. And while you're at it, please take our like and subscribe poll. And Smopo Vienna's pipe will be making an appearance here in the next week or two. Smopo Vienna says that's a very nice pipe. It is. Smopo Vienna made me a face hugger pipe, and that'll be making an appearance soon. But anyway, as I was saying, hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed and vote in our little poll. Our little poll today is, what's your biggest regret about this trial? Tell me what your biggest regret about this trial is. Your choices are no witchcraft or rituals yet. Your second choice is it's only once a week. Your third choice is it's not OJ. And your fourth and final choice is there are no tortoises or tonsil twins involved. So those are your choices. We'll check in an hour or so and see how it's going. But in the meantime, and for some reason, Buddhaberry doesn't like her thumbs. The typo. I think you were young when you said, speaking of Cthulhu, that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's keep going here. All right, we're ready. Aussie Overlord is here. Make sure you get on over and subscribe to him as well. Like everything he's ever done, because it's worthy of your likes. And he does stuff. He knows things, and he does stuff.
And I literally can't make it any easier for you people. Click the link that I just put in chat. It will open a new tab. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Cannot make it any easier. And I do want to say thank you to everybody that subscribed over the last few days. It is both moralizing, I think is the right frame here that I'm using it. My words aren't working right now.
It's not demoralizing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
moralizing, I guess.
Opposite of demoralizing.
It's building morale. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the right word is either.
I'm sure moralizing is a word.
Well, that sounds more like someone would be like, I'm more moral than you. I don't know. Anyway. It makes him happy.
Yes. I mean, look, I don't know how, but it seems like I'm actually getting organic traffic, which has not happened in 9 months. So
organic sounds like you got a bunch of vegans following you.
No, but I do have a I was trying to see some what sort of evergreen content that I can put out, and I found a video of a bunch of vegans getting owned by either meat eaters or lawyers, and I'm going to review that just to laugh at it.
All right. Well, speaking of laughs, let's see what laughs we can get out of Nosferatu here today. Remember, we got what's her face, mommy. We got mommy forensic examiner lady on the stand here. Oh yes, that was the other thing. The other interesting thing that came out in this trial is our fearless forensics examiner woman had a drug problem and was fired from her position for stealing drugs out of was it her own drugs or out of the evidence room? I think it was her own drugs.
No, it was out of the evidence room.
Was it okay? It was out of the evidence room. I couldn't remember if it was there, out of her wherever these kind of people. Oh yeah, I guess she's with the police, so it'd be the evidence room. Yeah, she stole some drugs out of the evidence room. She had a drug problem, and she lost her job, but she's recovered. So she's there. But they're saying that all of this drug stuff happened after this trial, which of course the prosecution desperately wants you to believe had nothing to do with this trial.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was the other thing we got, Evan. Now here's Sarah Palin, the prosecutor, and she's going to be. I think they're still doing their direct testimony. They're still doing their direct testimony of mommy Copper over here. So all right, let's shall we push play and get on with it?
Yes,
I think we should. Let's do that because we got a lot of stuff to get through. She's going to be on the stand probably the entire time.
From the photographs, this house looked to be a bit of a mess. Fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see anything that looked ransacked or rummaged through?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Did you see any signs anywhere of forcible entry as you took pictures?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember if the TVs were on?
We had. I think we. What happened to our whatchamacallums? You know, those one things. Closed captions. I thought we had closed captions here. I guess I was hallucinating last week. I swear to God, we had them.
I thought we did.
I thought we did too. Huh.
Does anything show if you right click?
Nope.
Oh.
Weird.
Court TV's
All right.
wrong with us. Okay.
All right. Whatevs.
Or off in the den area where the two males were found and in the living room area where the recliner was.
They were off.
Weird.
Do you remember when you initially went into the home on July 31st, if the house was, the temperature was hot, cold, warm? Do you remember?
It was very hot.
And do you, crime scene technicians, investigators, sometimes do you turn the air conditioner down when you're processing a scene?
Yes, ma'am. After you take a picture of the thermostat or the display that has the temperature on it.
Okay.
The display.
Those are my questions. Thank you, ma'am.
We're going to take a 15-minute break. Good afternoon, Ms. Rollins.
Good afternoon.
So you worked for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office as a crime scene technician until May 18th, 2018, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And that's the day that you were fired?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were fired because it came to light that you were stealing drugs from the evidence room?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that answered all the questions right there.
And those were drugs that had been taken into evidence by the sheriff's office?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had actually collected some of those yourself?
I don't know if I'd actually collected any of them.
And the drugs that you were stealing were opiates?
Yes, ma'am.
And that included hydrocodone and oxycodone?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you're going to go for the best.
Yeah, that's fine.
After you were fired, you were also arrested, correct?
Correct.
You were charged with 24 felony charges?
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
You understand that a felony is a crime that's punishable by more than 1 year?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, she's a cop. Ish.
And you had, of your 24 charges, 2 of those were first-degree felonies? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And a first-degree felony is punishable by up to 30 years in prison for each charge?
Yes, ma'am.
So she's
And
looking at
those
a million
first-degree
years in
felonies
prison.
were for trafficking in hydrocodone and trafficking in oxycodone.
Correct.
And then you also had
This is what is known in legal parlance as humiliating the shit out of the witness.
Which is ironic because this is her witness, isn't it?
No, they switched over to the defense now,
Oh,
I
shit.
believe. Yeah.
I probably should pay more attention.
Yeah. That they're saying, oh yeah, you know how you just breezed over this on direct examination? Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about what a horrible, terrible, wicked, mean, nasty, evil person you are, and how everything you've ever laid your hands on has been tainted by the stink and stench of your filthy drug behavior. That's what the defense is doing. Porcelain Thunder, she doesn't need to be fixed. She's already been fixed. So she's got her life back in order. She's doing her thing. But yeah, this is just done solely for the purpose of the defense just humiliating the bejesus out of her in front of the jury. I mean, granted, she got charged with a shit ton of stuff.
22 third-degree felonies, correct?
Oh God.
Yes, ma'am.
And a third-degree
Oh,
felony
crap.
is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So of those 22 charges, 11 of those counts were for possession of a controlled substance,
Yes, ma'am.
and 11 of those counts were for grand theft of a controlled substance. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
What about mediocre to fairly awesome theft?
And you were stealing those drugs because you had developed an opiate habit, a drug habit. Is that correct?
An addiction, yes, ma'am.
And you testified a little while ago that those issues, your drug issue, began about a year before your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
While your habit persisted, you continued to work on your job as a crime scene technician. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you were still processing crime scenes while you were using the opioids?
Correct.
I am an opioid. Come on and wind me up.
Okay.
You're too young for I'm a freakazoid. Come
So
on
first
and
you were
wind me up.
taking tramadol, is that right?
Correct.
And you started taking tramadol many years ago
Yes, ma'am.
for migraines?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point that quit working, so you went to a pain management doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
And that pain management doctor prescribed Lortab?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is she wearing curtains?
So
fashion
you
choice.
took Lortab for what period of time?
A little while. I don't really remember how long.
Okay. So you had a prescription for Lortab at the beginning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then your prescription ran out,
Yes, ma'am.
and you still continued to take Lortab after that?
I am Lortab, destroyer of worlds. Matches the carpet. Nice one, Tom.
So when you were continuing to take Lortab, those were drugs that you were stealing from the evidence room?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, unless I be accused of stealing super chats, somehow Tammy Fayette slid under my radar. Tammy Fayette with a $5 super chat. Emotional support doggo cam fund to start. Thank you, Tammy Fayette. It's deeply appreciated. We enjoy all of the emotional support potato pig dog cam donations that come in. And Tammy Fayette, you're the best and the first. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. That puts us $95 away from the piggo doggo potato cam thing. We have a rare appearance by Yoda this morning, so get Yoda while the getting's good. All right, let's go. Thank you so much again, Tammy. Seriously, I appreciate that.
So you didn't go back to get another prescription from your pain management doctor?
I think I got 2 prescriptions from her. And then there was a period of time that I wasn't using, and then I went to taking it.
And at some point, you also started taking oxycodone?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not have a prescription for that. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that oxycodone you were taking also came from the evidence locker at the sheriff's office?
Yes, ma'am.
Kimber, I am not eating.
What a mindless dweeb. Me?
And the number of pills that you
Probably.
stole from the evidence room grew over time. Is that right?
No, it just depended on what was in the case that I took at the time.
Wow.
So you would steal some and then you would use those up and then you would go and steal some more?
Yes, ma'am.
And over time, you developed somewhat of a tolerance for those drugs?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Damn
you
it.
had to take
She went
more
right where I was
get the
gonna
same
go.
effect?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that effect that you got from taking those drugs?
Just to help me feel normal and to be able to get through the day.
She got high, duh.
So you had to take the opioid drugs just to feel normal.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you feel when you did not take them?
I didn't feel good. I had a headache.
Aha! Terry Ham asks the $64,000 question. I must have missed something. What does her drug use have to do with this guy unaliving people? I'm confused. Oh, let's put up the banner. Sorry, I didn't put up the banner. That may dispel some confusion. Probably not a lot because, but where are we at here? We're down to the very bottom. Right. This as the thing we'll say here in just a minute. This is the former crime scene technician, Christina Rollins. She was the main crime scene investigator on this case. And so they're laying out all of her past drug crimes to say that she's not trustworthy because she's been charged with 8 million felonies carrying about 47 billion years. And she had a drug problem. She's stealing evidence from the locker. She was probably drugged out of her damn mind when she was doing this case. So therefore she shouldn't be trusted. And you should throw out everything that she has to say regarding the murder scene and who she thinks did it. So that's why they're doing this.
So, Counselor, how would you rehabilitate this?
Probably one, go back to so all of this drug stuff happened a year and a half after this case, or 2 years after, because this was 2015 and this case is 2020. So her drug problem apparently started sometime around 2017-ish. So this didn't happen until 2 years after. You were perfectly clean, sober, and upright at the time of you investigated this case. And did your subsequent arrests have anything whatsoever to do with this case? No, thank you. Sit down. What about you?
I personally would have went back to, because she did specify that she had a prescription for the drugs initially, and that yes, over time she did have to increase the dosage in order to obtain a further high. I would try and pinpoint at what point she actually felt the need to increase the dosage, because even if she did not have a script, if she was still taking the same amount that she had been prescribed and she was still able to work on the job without a script, then that is going to be irrelevant as to whether or not she had the capabilities to properly perform her job. Now, obviously, you don't ask that question in court without knowing the answer to it previously. So I'm curious to see exactly how the prosecution will rehabilitate this witness.
Well, either way gets us to where I think we need to be with her, that she was clean and sober at the time, and it did not affect her job performance at the relevant time. We'll see. We'll see who they agree with, or if the prosecution comes up with their own different from us thingy here. All right, let's get on with it.
I hope they've come up with something better than what I came up with in 10 minutes.
Well, there's not a lot of options for it, really, but let's see how they go.
Did you have difficulty thinking clearly when you were not taking them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you need those opioids after a time to function normally?
Yes, ma'am.
And for a time, you used both the Lortab and the OxyContin at the same time. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, that's not good.
And you were still taking Tramadol?
Not that I know of.
I think that was one of business's drugs.
Not that you know of?
I mean, I don't remember. Not from the doctor.
Okay. What do you mean not from a doctor?
Oh, for
I just mean I didn't have a prescription I did have a prescription for Tramadol for a long time.
I've got to change my headline
But you
from
can't remember if you were taking
Axparatu
that at the same time as you were
Lortab
taking
racks.
the Lortab and the oxycodone.
No, ma'am, I can't recall.
There.
When you were originally prescribed Lortab, you were prescribed just 1 or 2 a day. Is that right?
Correct.
And you ended up taking 8 to 10 a day.
Oh God.
Correct.
Holy crap! I
So that
stand
was 5 to
corrected.
10 times the actual prescribed dose.
Correct.
Plus all the other shit.
And how many OxyContin a day were you taking?
I don't remember. A couple.
3 to 4?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm shocked you can remember anything.
And while you were taking these Lortab and when you were taking the 5 to 10 times the prescribed amount of Lortab, and when you're taking OxyContin, you were still processing crime scenes.
Yes, ma'am.
And you cannot say for certain that you were not taking Lortab when you processed the crime
Aha.
scene in this case, correct?
I was not taking Lortab at the time I processed that crime scene.
So yes, you can say for certain. Oops. You blew that one, Frumpster.
Trying to think who she reminds me of.
Do you remember giving a deposition
I'll get you my pretty Indian little
on
dog,
October
too.
30th of last
No,
year?
Yes, ma'am.
She's sort of got a halfway gentle face. Ironically, I'm thinking of a different witch. I'm thinking Sabrina's sister from the TV show. Sorry, it's not
Haven't
sister.
seen it.
One of the aunts.
Haven't seen it.
Unfortunately, I have.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Just
So at that
don't
deposition,
approach the-
I was there,
just don't approach the
and Ms. Jensen
defendant.
was there. You were called out,
Yes, ma'am.
and you were sworn to tell the truth, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
If I could refer you to the first 4 lines.
Just says I don't know that I didn't think that I was.
Uh-oh. You didn't think that you were, or you didn't know? You definitely said you were now. Is your memory better now or
So on
then?
October 30th,
Yep, here we go.
when I asked you, when you went out there to the scene, talking about the scene in this case, said at that time you were taking Lortab, is that right? And your response was, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so.
Thank God.
Isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, ask the question, was your memory better now or then?
And you were definitely taking tramadol when you processed this
Oh,
scene,
she didn't
correct?
ask it.
I think so.
And you were taking more than the prescribed amount?
No, ma'am.
So with the 24 felony counts you were charged with, you were facing potentially 170 years in
God.
prison, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was 30 years for each of the 2 first-degree felony
Asked
charges,
and answered.
plus
Come on.
5 years for the 22 third-degree
This
felony
is just a little
charges, right?
extreme now.
Yes,
You already went over that.
And you were allowed to enter a no contest plea rather than a guilty plea.
Yes, ma'am.
An adjudication was withheld, meaning that you are not, as you sit here, a convicted felon, correct?
Correct.
You received no jail time?
No, ma'am.
You still have the right to vote?
Yes, ma'am.
If you apply for a job and have to answer the question of whether you're a convicted felon, you can truthfully say no, correct?
Correct.
In spite of being arrested and charged with 24 felonies.
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, you must have been made aware of your criminal punishment code score sheet that showed you were looking at a minimum prison term of 94.5 months in prison, correct?
I don't remember ever seeing that sheet, but
I'll take your word for it. This is very
You
specific.
never saw your score sheet?
I mean, not that I know of.
Sweetheart, the phrase is not to the best of my recollection.
Would you agree that 94.5 months is almost 8 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So even though you pled no contest to 24 felonies, you received no prison time, even though you scored prison time. Wouldn't you agree that that was a great deal for you?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered your plea July of 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you had received the prison sentence of almost 8 years under the score sheet, that means you would be sitting in prison right now, correct?
Correct.
How the fuck is that relevant?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
aware that at the end of the trial, a jury is instructed at the end of the trial that when they are evaluating a witness's credibility, they can consider whether that witness has ever been convicted of a felony?
Yes, ma'am.
But you haven't been convicted, have you?
No, ma'am.
God damn it! How many times you can
So
ask that
would you agree
question?
that testifying as a witness who has no felony convictions makes you a better witness than one who does have felony convictions?
Right. Good.
About time.
Finally, that was way overdue.
Yeah.
I mean, God, it's been 30 minutes of that. Well, 24 minutes of her just pounding her on her drug use. That's pretty shitty. So that's it's good that I mean, finally, Sarah Palin back there grew a pair and called a stop to it.
It sucks that she had to wait for that very specific question to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, look, prior to that, I don't think that she crossed any actual lines, which is very annoying. She was this woman is very, very well schooled in towing the line as to what's appropriate and what's not. She was towing that line like there was no tomorrow, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
I don't think there was anything inherently wrong with her questions.
No.
It was just there was a lot of asked and answered.
Mhm.
There was a lot of irrelevant ones. But you know, then she
she
just
just tripped over that line, and that's why the objection in this instance is appropriate.
yeah. Ned Creighton asks a very important question. Legal advice, can you clearly explain what rule people need to follow for any mod not to ban them? There's only one rule. Don't be a dick in chat. That's the only rule. Just don't be a dick. Disagree, have spirited debates, have spirited conversation, but when one person is ruining it for 300, 500, 1,000 people, and when you're a DSP type detractor, when you're a detractor, no, when it's just one person being a dick, and you know when you're being a dick, that's why I love my chat. That's why the Vice Squad chat is the best chat on the entire internet, because we know where the line is between fun and being a dick. If you don't know where the line is, then you're probably being a dick. So
It's generally right about wherever Jeff's phone is at 3 a.m. when he rolls over and bans someone in his sleep.
Yeah, and we time out. We don't ban. The worst punishment is a 5-minute. If there's repeat 5-minute timeouts, then the bannage can happen. But yeah, it was just a little timeout. Just don't be a dick. That's all. That's all. So yeah, I'm the only one that actually bans people, and it's been very, very probably 5 or 6 in 2 years. So it's just a little timeout. So there we go. That's all. You're ruining this for everyone, Jeff. Where's the effing witchcraft? Now, King Ginger, don't you start. Don't you start. All right, let's go. I hope that was clear. It's a very simple rule. Don't be a dick. And if you think you're being a dick, you probably are. And if everybody else thinks you're being a dick and you don't, you probably are. There you go. And you get sent to the penalty box if your jokes are too degenerate to put up on the screen. And the penalty box is a mythical place of honor.
There's a reason why my camera's off, people. I'm in the penalty box almost indefinitely now.
Is being sent to the penalty box is an honor. Being silenced for 5 minutes is the walk of shame. So there we go. Speaking of walk of shame, let's get back to Nosferatu here. I don't know how that was a segue, but there it is.
So instead of receiving prison or even jail time, you received probation and community control?
Correct.
So you got a total of 10 years probation with the first 2 of that on community control.
Yes, ma'am.
And community control is basically like house arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
That means you remain at home most of the time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you're still allowed to leave to go to work, to go to the doctor, to do necessary things, to come to court. Is that correct?
Correct.
And a requirement for you under that plea agreement is that you testify truthfully in any and all cases where you are a witness as a former crime scene technician for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do want to help the state, correct?
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm just here to tell the truth.
Oh, good answer.
Well done.
And the prosecutor, the state, is the one who decides whether you're testifying truthfully.
No,
No, the jury does. Yes. Yes, my dear. There you go. That's a damn good answer. Those are 2 good answers in a row. I love her already. I love her all over again.
Even recovering from a very severe drug addiction over the years, her brain clearly still has enough neurons to fire to run rings around this chick. I love it.
And she's not being snarky about it. She's not being snotty about it. She's just, my job is to tell the truth. And no, the state doesn't decide if I'm, that's what the jury does. I want to hear if she pulls a hat trick. She needs like a hat trick to get like 3 good ones in a row. That was good. I like that.
Oh,
And,
surely the attorney's going to know better than to set her up for a 3rd time. I'm going to laugh really hard if she does, but surely.
well, she asked 2 in a row and got burned, so why not 3? Oh, shit. All right. Well, by the way, it's the first time in a long time that we've broken out the official Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Daddy Cup. That's where that's what we're sipping our wine in today. The Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Daddy Cup. There we go.
Oh, look at you being all fancy pants.
Yeah, this was the that episode in the Johnny Depp trial where he'd just been screwed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by his manager or millions or whatever the hell it was, and he slammed the cabinet and he goes, "Oh yeah,
There's something bad
crazy
here today.
I'll show you crazy." And then he poured the bottle of wine into the deal and he called it a mega pint of wine. This is the exact same, well, not the glass, it's the exact same style of glass that he poured his wine. He said, "You want to see the crazy? I'll give you all the crazy." And the plaintiffs, cross plaintiffs, Elaine and whatever the other dipshit's name was, referred to as a mega pint. What?
The way you just disregarded Rottenborn. Whatever
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
Rottenborn.
name was.
Rottenborn. Yes, Mr. Rottenborn. I forgot Mr. Rottenborn's name. The greatest name for an evil lawyer ever, Rottenborn. But anyway, yes.
Mr. Legal Vices, that is not very nice.
Yeah, that's the so yeah, this is the glass that Johnny Depp had. That's why I call it the official Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Daddy glass. All right, back at it.
That means you remain at home most of the time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you're still allowed to leave to go to work, to go to the doctor, to do necessary things, to come to court. Is that correct?
Correct.
And a requirement for you under that plea agreement is that you testify truthfully in any and all cases where you are a witness as a former crime scene technician for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't like this.
And you do want to help the state, correct?
No.
No, I'm just here to tell the truth.
Next
My plea
question.
agreement.
And the prosecutor, the state, is the one who decides whether you're testifying truthfully.
No, the jury does.
Ooh, caught her off guard.
Well,
what
as
I'm
far
saying.
as the plea agreement goes,
Oh.
you had an obligation to testify truthfully, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you agree that the jury is not the one who decides that for purposes of the plea agreement?
No.
It actually has to be up to the state.
I guess.
So if you're found to be in violation of the plea agreement, then you will be resentenced in
This is the old, you're just saying what the prosecution wants to say to you so you don't go to jail for 170 years.
She's doing some dodgy gymnastics to get there to that argument. But yes, that's what she's saying. Oh,
And
ultimately, it's up to the state to be able to put you behind bars because you pled that you'd have to plead truth. Whatever the truth whatever truth comes out of your mouth. I can't use my words, Jeff.
Are you okay? Do you smell burnt toast?
A little bit.
All right. Just checking.
That's why you're the judge and I'm the law talking guy. The lawyer. Right.
She's no munch. This is true.
Yeah, she's no munch.
Possibly sent to prison.
Yes, ma'am.
And are you aware that under Florida law,
Okay, Lizeka, you
if the
can
state
decide.
believes that you have helped them get a conviction with your testimony, they can file a motion to have the court further reduce your sentence. Are you aware of that?
No, ma'am, not. I had no idea.
Good answer.
Gotcha, bitch. Oh, wait, I have a thing for that.
Gotcha,
Would you
bitch.
agree that the job description for a crime scene technician with the sheriff's office is to perform office and field work related to crime scene investigation, including collecting, examining, preserving, documenting, preparing, reviewing physical evidence, and then also providing courtroom testimony as required?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that sound like a fair description?
Yes, ma'am.
And a crime scene technician also has to compile reports and maintain records, update records for.
Oh, wait, we're talking about her job now? What, so soon? Only 30 minutes into your cross-examination, and now we're talking about what she actually does? Well, congratulations. Yeah, she's just asked about her job now. We're starting, Ms. Kegriff. This is the beginning of good things.
Proper documentation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do this real quick lightning poll. Let's see. Put a 1 in chat if you think she asks more questions about the crime than she does about the drug history. Put a 2 if you think she asks more questions about the drug history than she does about the crime scene. I'm curious. So 1 is more crime than drugs. 2 is questioning more about drugs than crime. Oh, so far it's 100% 2s. Ozzy has lots of 2s. Let's go. Brandon has several 2s. And everybody's a 2 and a 68. That's almost 69, but not quite. It's really disappointing 69. All right. So it's a wash straight across the board. If you're not doing 2, you're doing 69. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So we'll keep track of the time here.
And part of that documentation includes photographing evidence in the condition in which it's found.
Yes, ma'am.
So in other words, would you agree that preserving and documenting evidence was a crucial part of your former job?
Yes, ma'am.
You first responded to the scene on July 31st, 2015?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Philosophers have been wrestling with this
And when
question
you
for thousands of
responded, you
years.
photographed some of the interior and some of the exterior of the victim's house?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you photographed the house, you did not observe or photograph any type of damage around the back door, correct?
No, ma'am.
If you use the back door, you should never leave damage. That's not fun.
When you arrived on the scene, the bodies were still there?
Remind me
Yes,
to
ma'am.
tell you a joke later.
And there was a black trash can that was found in the laundry room at the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
How did that black trash can come to your attention?
Well, that's an interesting
I looked
strategy.
inside of it.
Do all the
Who
important
first
stuff and then hammer on the
brought it
drugs.
to your attention before you looked inside of it?
I don't recall.
So at that point, there were a number of people in the house who could have brought it to your attention, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe Deputy Jackson and Wirt and Hendershot and Tatum were there, correct?
Potatum.
As far as I can remember, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And also Sergeant Bjornson
Yes, ma'am.
and Deputy Infinger
Yes, ma'am.
What?
and
That guy's name is not Deputy Infinger.
I'm not sure if it's worse that it's in finger or N finger.
I think
Because
this is
N finger
Infinger.
sounds like an action. In finger seems like a description.
Yes, it's the Infinger. It's the Infinger for all that backdoor entry they were doing last week.
Well, I mean, most times you've got 2 in fingers, 1 out finger.
Depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Can we continue, please? What's the deputy Infinger fingering himself, or what was going on? Wow. Let's
Fuck you.
let's go. Let's go.
Lieutenant Gilmore
Yes, ma'am.
and Sergeant Coxwell.
Yes, ma'am.
There is not Detective Infinger and Sergeant Coxwell in the same place. I fucking refuse to believe that. You do not have Sergeant Coxwell and Deputy Infinger entering through the back door. You don't have that in real life. That is not a thing. I give up. We're not following this trial anymore. It's filthy. We're not gonna play this degenerate trial anymore. We're gonna find a different trial. This is horrible. This is like the worst Charles Dickens novel ever written. Wow. Now, if only they had to do what they were doing in that other case and in worrying about the butt love case. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. Now that I've sort of recovered my composure, let's get back into Sergeant Coxwell and Deputy Infinger entering through the back door. This is witchcraft, Jeff.
I can't do it.
This is where the witchcraft comes in. This whole trial is a giant troll, I've guessed. It sounds like a prom.
Believe in magic.
What kind of spell? Sorry.
So one of those
Oh no.
9 or 10 people brought that black trash can to your attention.
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't know if any of those people had opened the black trash can before you arrived, do you?
No, ma'am.
And you also don't know.
Oh, I apologize real quick here. DCV Titan with the Canadian 2. Sounds like a Bond villain. Deputy Infinger and Sergeant
God.
Coxwell.
I like Keister Buddy. Worst game of Clue ever. There was Sergeant Coxwell in the kitchen with the black trash can.
Know if any of those people had moved the black trash can.
No, ma'am.
So do I, Katie.
So when you observed it, what did you do?
Took a picture of it.
Okay, so what was the vantage point of that picture?
What do you mean by?
That's almost penalty box
obviously,
material.
we've already seen that you took more than one picture.
Yes, ma'am.
So your first picture of that black trash can, do you remember the position that it was in?
It was behind the door.
Okay.
Was that the rear entrance?
And then at some point you opened the black trash can, right?
Correct.
It had a type of a
Racist.
lid on it with like a swivel on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
top. Okay.
Did a green Muppet pop out?
And what happened once you opened that lid?
I took a picture of it after I took the lid off.
Okay, but you didn't go directly from having the lid on to taking the lid off and photographing it, correct? There were
Wait, what?
several photos in between.
Yes, ma'am.
So at what point did you decide there were items of
Yes,
evidentiary
we are,
value
Tammy.
in that trash can?
Mm-hmm.
Just when you opened it, you
I'm
could
proud
see
of it.
items and you moved them around a little bit or like moved the top around
Right, Norma.
just to see what was in there. And It looked like items of evidence.
What were those items?
There was paper towels, the webcams, different things.
Okay. And Ms. Rollins, I'm showing you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 1 through 20. And do you recognize these?
Y'all keep your voices
I'm sorry.
She looks more like Legolas every instant.
If you can speak up. What
are you doing, Yoda?
Your mic.
Yes, sir. And do you recognize these folks? And I know some of these you previously recognized just from a little while ago, right?
Yes.
Okay. Permission to publish, Your Honor. Would move to admit defense exhibits 1 through 20 into evidence.
Objection.
State has no objection.
So admitted.
Permission to publish.
Nay.
I just started out as legless, but now she's drugless. They're taking the evidence to Isengard.
And Ms. Rollins, looking at defendant's exhibit 1, can you explain to the jury what this depicts?
The garbage can.
And is that garbage can in the original location where you found it?
She needs toner.
If any juror has a problem seeing any of the exhibits, please raise your hand. All right, we're gonna need you to come. Here. Is that fine? Can everyone see?
And yeah, we have this in the way too. So defendant's exhibit 1, that's in the laundry room at the scene, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you took that photo?
Yes, ma'am.
And defendant's exhibit 2. Can you explain what this is?
It's a picture.
Just looking inside the garbage can.
Okay. So you didn't go straight to taking the lid off, you just tipped the lid a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you look inside, can you explain what you are seeing? Right
Why is the defense
Those
asking
are
this?
like the plastic things that go on the back of
Oh.
cars.
Okay. And anything else? And if you need to step closer, that's okay. And we also have, we showed that these photos were taken on July 31st at,
Excuse me, with this, if you can keep in mind the angle of the jury view.
these photos show that they were taken on July 31st at 9:16 p.m., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And defendant's exhibit 3, what does this depict?
But she is. That's the problem. Adriana, what's up?
It's another picture of the inside of the garbage can.
Okay, and would you agree that in this picture, the lid is being tilted the other way to see what's on the top?
Yes, ma'am.
Not in everybody's way.
She's doing like tossing her chicken bones to tell the
While
future.
you're right here, I'm going to ask you, defendant's exhibit 4, what does this depict?
Just another picture of the garbage can.
What
Okay.
in the hell is
Now,
the fascination with the
When
garbage
you look
can?
at the lid in this picture, it's not all the way closed. Would you agree?
No.
No.
No, I agree.
Okay.
That's how you answer a double negative. I'm not a double negative, a negative question.
So in the previous pictures, you had the lid open in each direction. You tilted the lid, and apparently some of the items were shifted around so that then when you close the lid, it doesn't close all the way. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
But you would agree that the lid here is not all the way closed.
They don't always close all the way.
Okay. In picture number 1, it appears that the lid is closed all the way, does it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In picture 4, it's not closed all the way.
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, he's not guilty.
And Defendant's Exhibit 5. What is this one?
Just as you're taking off the lid to the garbage can.
Okay, so here we have the lid partially off, correct?
Correct.
And at this point, there are no bloody paper towels that are apparent. Is that correct? On any of these photos, 1 through 5?
Correct.
And then we have Defendant's Exhibit 6. And can you describe this one?
If the lid doesn't
Rubber
close, you
mats,
must
there's some
dispose.
towels,
There you go.
Some paper towels.
I'm going to put up Exhibit 6 here, right below Exhibit 5. And when you look at these two photos, and you can come closer if you need to, would you agree that the contents from Exhibit 5 to Exhibit 6 have been moved around?
A little bit.
Okay, so can you describe what the difference is that you see?
You can speak up, please.
Yeah.
What was the response?
I said that these plastic things were moved a little bit.
Okay, so would you agree that in Exhibit 6, these, I call them the rug pads, these rug pads are all the way up against the bottom left-hand corner, and in Exhibit 5, they're not. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And in Exhibit 5, we can't really see what's on the right-hand side. And also, we have something up here in the top left-hand corner of Exhibit 5. Do you know what that is?
I can't.
Okay, but whatever it is, we can't see it in Exhibit 6. Would you agree?
Yes.
And also this piece of the broken goose. It looks like we can see a little bit more of that in Exhibit 5 than we can in Exhibit 6.
Yes.
And now Defendant's Exhibit 7. Can you describe what this is?
The plastic mats, there's the ace bandage wrap thing, and some dish towels. There's a pair of glasses, part of the goose.
Okay. And we are still on July 31st, 2015. You can help me, please. Okay, so in Exhibit 7, still taken at the scene, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you describe the difference in contents from Exhibit 7 and Exhibit 6?
It just looks like the plastic mat was moved over a little bit.
And would you agree that this, I believe it's a wrist brace or something like that, we can see a lot more of that in Exhibit 7 than we can in Exhibit 6?
Yes, ma'am.
What the hell is she on about, Hayden? Do you have any clue? Hayden, where have you gone? You're not here anymore.
I fell off the channel about 7 minutes ago. You just noticed?
Well, I have the stream covering us because I don't need to see us. Yeah. Huh. Hayden's here.
Yeah. Hayden isn't here, man. No, look, I'm gonna have to revise my thoughts about her spending more time talking about the drugs than about the actual case, because it feels like she's going to go through everything in excruciating detail. And for some reason now, all I can stare at is that guy's 5 o'clock shadow. Holy crap!
Which guy's 5 o'clock shadow?
With the maroon shirt in the background.
Oh, wow! So it looks like Adam Lambert and Sam Smith or something back there. I don't know where he's. I have no clue where she's going with this.
Clearly, something rests on the fact that something was found in this bin, but at the same time, she's not really honing in on it. I mean, presumably some sort of crucial evidence was found, but is she trying to say that it was tampered with beforehand, before the cops got there? Was it moved? Can she say that something hadn't been added? Like, she's not being, she's not compelling at this point.
Melvin Jefferson's defense attorney is trying to drive witness back to drug use. And Tammy Fayette with the $2, bringing us now 90 away from Pig Dog Cam. Witchcraft, witchcraft, witchcraft.
Yeah, that angel, you're a cheap date.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. All righty. Wow. Oh, we're at the halfway mark. We'll go a little bit more, and then we'll do our midstream grift here.
So that also has been shifted around.
Just the
Fascinating story. Any chance you're nearing the end?
plastic mat had moved off of it a little bit.
And the plastic mat in Exhibit 7 is all the way up in this photograph. It's the bottom left-hand corner. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
In Defendant's Exhibit 8, can you describe this picture?
The plastic mat. It's got the ace band.
You know, it did not occur to me even slightly that's how that name might have been spelled.
Washcloths. Just towels.
In finger?
No, Coxwell.
It's not how it's spelled, it's how it's pronounced. It's important. Looks like tripe.
And you can step
It's like
over here if you
someone
need
threw
to.
some tripe in the garbage can.
And does Exhibit 8 look
No, it's
like
one of those
Exhibit
non-stick, not like non-slip things that you put on like tables and stuff.
Yeah.
It's-
We know where she's going now. She just said, does picture A look different than picture C?
Yeah.
You were rummaging through the evidence and or planted something.
And were you high at the time and therefore can't say whether or not you can conclusively... Yeah, I see where she's going, but she took the mountain way around to get to that, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's already lost the jury on this one, I think. They're probably pissed off at her.
Fingers crossed.
Just looks like some of the stuff was moved over a little bit.
Okay, so can you describe what stuff was moved over and which way it was moved?
The ace wrap was moved a little bit this way, and that was moved a little bit that way.
Okay, and when you say that way, in that picture, it's towards the left,
Yes, ma'am.
as we're looking at the
Yes, ma'am.
pictures. Okay.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
In Exhibit 7, we've got the wrist brace that's almost to the far right of the trash can. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
And
my
then
Lord, shut
in
up, woman.
Exhibit 8, it's more towards the middle, and we can only see a little portion of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have some change with the dish rags.
Yes, ma'am.
At this point, have they been completely removed?
No, Tammy, this is
Or
not
are these
necessary.
the same ones in the opposite corner in Exhibit 8?
Those are the same ones.
So those dish rags have been moved from, in these photos, from the top to the bottom, now exposing a webcam.
Yes,
Webcam.
No, Detectives Pecker and Johnson.
And we're starting to see something in this top left-hand corner. Can you
This is so annoying.
Uh-huh.
And she's like not really helping. She's hurting. So now you can see this is moved a little bit, exposing the webcam. There's like a webcam in every garbage can in here. So clearly, he thinks there was something on the webcam that shouldn't have been seen or something. He's disposing of it somehow. There's broken goose pieces in every garbage can in the house. And she's like, oh, she's hurting, not helping. I don't get this at all. This is weird.
She's trying in a very stupid roundabout way to show that the crime scene was contaminated in between photos. And she's failing spectacularly.
Yeah, it all goes away when she says, yes, I moved things so I could see what was underneath them.
And that's take photos for evidence. Yeah.
That's why we took the first photo to show you the condition it was in when we found it. Then we moved stuff, and this is what we saw underneath it. So we took a picture.
Wait until she gets to the picture of them having upended the trash can onto the ground so they could see everything. She's got to lose her shit.
Can you describe what that is?
The BlackBerry.
And this, is that a stylus that goes with the BlackBerry?
I can't hear you. Sorry. No, that's glasses. The Oakley glasses.
Okay, this blue
Yes, ma'am.
is glasses. Okay. So would you agree that those are all the photos of the trash can that you took at the scene?
I mean, if that's all you have, I don't
Okay.
have a
To
copy.
the best of my recollection, it's not that
I'll
difficult.
ask you this way. Would you
Chat, say
agree
it
that
with me.
this is
To the best of my
last
recollection.
photograph of the contents of the trash can and the trash can that you took at the scene? Or are you not sure?
I'm not sure. I don't have the pictures.
Okay. Now I'm showing you Defendant's Exhibit 9. Can you describe what this is?
The contents of the trash can without the plastic mat on top of it.
And this photograph was taken at the lab, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you can tell that not only because it's numbered Lab 1, but also because you can see this cabinet with a lock on it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Good on.
So we go from this photograph, which is Defendant's Exhibit 8, at the scene to, as the last photograph at the scene, to the first photograph. Would you agree that that's your first photograph of the trash can at the lab?
I mean, I don't have the pictures with me, but if that's what it says, but
Okay. If it's numbered Lab 1, would that be your first photograph of the trash can at the scene?
yes, ma'am.
So after you photographed Defendant's Exhibit 8 at the scene, you bagged up the trash can, you put it in a big brown bag. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so did you put the lid back on it first?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you move these items around? I see the rug pad in 8 is kind of up over the edge. So did you have to move that before you could put the lid back on?
I don't remember.
Ms. Rollins, are you okay standing there or do you need a chair?
I'm okay.
So, okay, you picked up the trash can, you put the lid on it, you put it in a bag, you carried it outside. I believe your van was parked out at the street at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you put it in the back of the van, and then you drove roughly 11 miles over to the sheriff's office from the scene. Is that right?
I don't know the mileage, but yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you remember what route you took?
No, I don't. Probably got on the interstate and got off on Fairfield.
Okay. And then when you got back to the sheriff's office, you had to move the other things around. You had to take this trash can out in its brown paper bag and then carry it inside to the lab, right?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
how it
And you had
works.
to take it out of the brown paper bag.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you started to take more photographs as you removed items from the trash can.
I honestly thought she was going to say, and you started to take morphine, but I was like, oh my God, okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll show you Defendant's Exhibit 10. Can you describe what this is?
There's part of the kitchen genius, part of floor tile, glasses, BlackBerry, webcam, and bloody paper towels.
So in Defendant's Exhibit 10, we have some things that have been removed since you took photograph 9, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you describe that?
What's been removed?
Yes.
The ace bandage thing and the dishcloths.
Okay, so we had the bandage that was in number 9. It was in the top right-hand corner. The dishcloths were in the photograph in the bottom right-hand corner. So in photograph 10, we don't have either of those items. That's correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And would you agree that in photograph 9, we've got this, was it piece of tile, as you described it? So it's got a kind of a horizontal orientation in photograph 9. Would you
Yes,
agree
ma'am.
with that? And then in photograph 10, it's got more of a vertical orientation.
Yes, ma'am.
And also in photograph 9, we have the head
Shut the
of
fuck
this
up.
broken goose statue.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
And just part of that statue. And would you agree that it has been removed in photograph 10?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you agree that I have deliberately placed these photos out of order in order to confuse the jury?
And Defendant's Exhibit 11, can you describe what this is, please?
Kitchen genius, the cord from the webcam, bloody paper towels, and part of the goose.
Okay, but this is not the head of the goose anymore, is that right?
No, ma'am.
And looking at Defendant's Exhibit 12, do those appear to be the same photo except one is slightly closer up?
Yes, ma'am.
Fuck.
Oh my God, stop.
Can you describe the changes from Defendant's Exhibit 10 to Exhibit 11?
Stop.
It looks like part of the webcam is gone, the piece of tile, BlackBerry, and the glasses.
Here's a side note, by the way. She still hasn't gone over these garbage pictures longer than she went on about her drug habits. She still talked more about the drugs than she has about the garbage can.
Holy shit, you're right.
Okay.
We've got, jurors are still having problems. Can we perhaps move the exhibit more toward your left, the juror's right, so we can get a better angle for the jurors? It's not blocked by the podium. And the witness can stand without worrying about obstruction.
And shift things around up here a little bit.
I'm thinking the exhibit perhaps more towards Ms. Jensen.
Let's see if we can move this. I know we're plugged in.
Look, prosecutor, you are boring the shit out of 319 people right now. 320 now.
Good.
Okay.
All right, if any juror, if anyone can't see or hear the evidence, just raise your hand.
Okay, and would you agree that up till this point, through Exhibit 11 and 12, there have not been any cigarette butts apparent?
What?
Not that I can see.
He smokes. That's okay. Yeah, he's a smoker. So okay, there's no cigarette butts. Therefore, he didn't smoke outside, or something like that.
I'm showing you Defendant's Exhibit 13. Can you describe this one?
There's a cigarette butt, bloody paper towels. part of
No,
the kitchen
Ginger. There's
genius,
case law covering that
coffee
very issue.
cup, and part of the goose.
Casting the chicken bones to test the next question.
So in Exhibit 13, this is the first one where a cigarette butt has been photographed.
Yes, ma'am.
And the cigarette butt appears to be inside something. Would you agree?
Please tell me it's not the back door.
It appears to be like on a paper towel.
Okay.
A
And then the
blood-soaked paper towel.
is resting on what appears to be a piece of that broken goose.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Defendant's Exhibit 14 is the same photograph, only slightly closer. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All of that rattling is her reaching for push pins.
Okay, if you could maybe step over here for just a couple minutes.
Oh, that's funny, JKD Buck.
If you could look at this white piece right here that we're saying is a piece of that broken goose, would you agree that it's slightly curved?
Does the goose
It looks
dress to
like
the left
in
or the right?
photograph 13 and 14, the concave side is facing up.
Oh my Christ! Shut
So
up!
If we track back to Exhibit 11,
The jurors having continued problems.
if we track back
The jury continues to have problems with giving a shit about what you're talking about. Move along.
to Exhibit 11, this is the same piece, correct? The same piece of the broken goose.
Uh,
I don't know if this is the same piece.
Okay. So, okay, if you look at this item, how would you identify that? This
Paper
item
towel?
right here, yes.
Is Mr. Noyes able to view this? Okay, Mr. Noyes, on that far end, the jury is unable to view this. Do you want to take a break and see if we can rearrange all this? Or try to do that?
That's fine.
it's like you're so screwed up. The jury can't see the stupid things. Let's take a break so you can unintercourse yourself and figure out a better way to do this. And a better way to do this would be stop doing it. Get whatever point she's going to make could have been made at latest after the first 3 pictures. I don't care what point she makes in this. I'll tell you right now, whatever the grand gotcha bitch question is that comes out of all of this, it's nothing that could not have been answered after, at the very latest, the 3rd picture she put up. That's my argument. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break.
Ms. Rollins, I'm showing you Defendant's Exhibit 15. Can you describe what this is?
There's pieces of the goose, part of the kitchen genius, a cup, bloody paper towels, part of a purse.
And with the laser pointer, it's so hard to see from over here.
Just shine it in your eyes.
Can you point out some changes from photo 14, Exhibit 14 to Exhibit 15? More items have been removed?
Yes.
Okay, what items have been removed?
Looks like this paper towel.
And the position of the cup has also been shifted?
Yes, ma'am.
And from Exhibit 14 to Exhibit 15, what has happened with this cigarette butt? Has it been removed or has it been covered up?
I think it's been removed.
Okay. If you can look at Exhibit 15, does it appear that this is, does it appear that this object right here is the same object as this?
It does.
So at that point, you can't really say whether the cigarette butt is still in there, but at least the piece of broken goose is still there, right?
Correct.
But at that point, it's got another bloody paper towel on top of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm showing you defendant's exhibit.
Bully
16.
mom, don't
Can you describe
leave.
that?
Don't leave, bully mom.
There's bottles, items from the, or personal items, popcorn container, and some bloody paper towels.
And this is the last photograph you took of any contents within the trash can, is that correct?
If that's the last one, yes, ma'am.
And now I'm showing you defendant's exhibit 17. Can you describe this?
Items that were collected out of the garbage can, the dish towel, the purses, bloody paper towels, part of the goose, water bottles.
Okay. And these photographs were all taken at the lab, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There's some jurors' hands up. Do you have any problems seeing?
The bottom row.
Pull it all the way over to the other side.
Too low?
Yeah, too low.
So this is some of the contents of the trash can in this photo, but not all of the contents, correct?
Correct.
And in this photograph, this appears to be a brown purse right here.
Yes, ma'am.
And then this appears to be a black purse.
This is the same
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
that the prosecution
And-
went through.
This is bloody paper towels.
Yes, ma'am.
And then behind the brown purse, is that the same rug pads that we had in the trash can?
Yes, ma'am.
And it appears here that the trash can is actually resting on the rug pads.
The trash cans.
The purse, the brown purse, is resting on the rug pads.
I mean, I can't tell from that picture.
Okay. And it appears that those bloody paper towels are actually touching the purse at that point. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I'd have to have another angle of the photo.
Okay. And you can step closer if you need to. Can you tell where the strap of that purse is going in
No.
relation to the bloody paper towels?
No, I can't.
So here we have two photos or two purses. And would you agree that in the preceding picture, we've only seen one purse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have this in exhibit 15, that would be the black purse right there. Would you agree with that?
The problem that I have with this
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
she's going so in
So we
depth,
have no photos.
presumably because she has nothing to support herself in this case. So she's just trying to bore the jury to tears to make sure that none of this matters.
I don't know. I am honestly utterly mystified by this. And there's only like 20 minutes of her left on the stand. And that has to include the rebuttal or the redirect.
Unless she goes, now, would you be surprised to learn that this is in fact your purse? Then, like,
I am at an utter loss.
Boosh, as long as she's asking slightly different questions each time and there's a point to it, and there's some differences to it, the judge can't force her to move along because she's asking relevant questions. Somehow,
and more importantly, no objection is being made.
that too.
I mean, if both parties are happy with it, the judge is going to sit in there and let it go. Unless there's something that's like horrifically angering to the judge. Weird. I'm. It seems pointless, but she at some point she's going to have a big gotcha question.
She's going to have to.
But it's not
build up. It had better be a hell of a payoff, but it's not going to.
And no, as I said, I don't think there's anything that she's going to get to the point to that she couldn't have said after the third picture.
Literally, the worst, slowest, grueling foreplay that's going to be so much of a letdown that there's not even going to be a big finish.
Exactly. No, it's not that common for the judge to set a clock on things like they've done in other cases, like the big, huge cases like Johnny Depp and whatnot. It's not common for them to say you have this many minutes to give your arguments. Uh-oh, that was not what I wanted to do at all, was it?
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't. That was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. Hang on. I believe the timestamp was 1:52. Why are we not opening? We're not responding. This is what happens when you play around with things. Stop touching things.
You should have just let me talk over the video. Trashiest stream ever. Thank you, JKD Buck. That's lovely.
Well, now's the time to grift yourself.
Fair enough. People, Aussie Overlord, if you don't know me, I'm an attorney from Melbourne. It still seems weird calling myself an attorney because we don't call ourselves attorneys here. We're lawyers or we're barristers if we take the bar. But funny law stuff. It's what I've got for you. I'm at this moment. I'm trying to string two shows an hour long a day just so I can hit everybody in different time zones. If you want funny stuff, if you want emotional stuff, if you want the stuff you don't hear elsewhere, follow. That's all you got to do.
Well, tell us again where we can find you.
You can find me. How much longer do you need me to vamp?
just tell us where we can find you. I'll ask the
You
question.
can find me on YouTube, X. I would very much appreciate if everybody would follow me up on X. I'm trying to boost my do I wear the wig for court? I am lucky enough that I do not have to wear the wig to court. I have the wig. I have a set of the robes. I do not have to wear them to court. Thank God, because they were passed down from the person I bought the film from, and I'm not willing to put them on. You can also find me on Rumble, or you can just email me. If you've just got something, if you've got a question, if you've got a query, whatever else, feel free to just hit me up at aussieoverlord@gmail.com.
He's not a wigger, is what he's saying.
No, I'm not a wigger. I've never once been a wigger. I will never ever be a wigger.
You just had to say it once. That was all. Once was enough. All right, and
that was so racist that even the word racist had the hard R.
Let's see what's going on here with our like and subscribe poll. We got 300 and some odd people, 308 people here, 311 people now. A few more just joined. Our like and subscribe poll for today. What is your biggest regret about this trial? Well, if I would have known this certainly today's testimony certainly would have been on the list if I would have known it was doing this. But so far, the biggest regrets about this trial, 7% of you said it's not OJ. 9% of you said it's only once a week. 25% of you said no tortoises or tonsil twins are here. And 59% of you have said there's no witchcraft or rituals yet. Oh, well, I think we're up to where we need to be. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to Aussie Overlord as well. And let's see if we can do this again. I just made it up. I just put it to 153 mark. So we're either ahead of where we were or behind where we were, and I don't care. And I couldn't tell by the testimony because it's just going in circles. So this is where we're starting. Like it or leave it. Yeah, there we go.
Stop pressing buttons.
Position of the cup has also been shifted.
The position of the cunt has been what?
Yes,
What?
She said
And
it's been shifted apparently.
from Exhibit 14 to Exhibit 15.
Oh, Ms. K says it was 157.51. I'll trust her because it's farther than we are now. I don't care if she's wrong or not. That's where we're going.
Purse, the paper towels, part of the goose, the webcams, a coffee cup.
So in this one, it's similar contents, only
It's like one of those dementia tests where you just like have to look at the picture for 30 seconds and then you have to write down everything you saw in the picture. The coffee cup, the broken goose, the cigarette.
it's photographed with a little item, a few more items that are to the left of this photograph. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Uh-oh, you're going to get canceled. You misgendered Mr. K.
No, I said Mrs. K. Grift.
And
Or
that's
was it
not
Mr.
who gave
K
you the
this-
timestamp.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Ms. K. Grift. All
And
right.
Defendant's
Sorry,
Exhibit
Mr. K.
19. Can you describe this?
I just saw
Part of
an
the
M and a
popcorn,
K.
cigarette butts, and part of a receipt. Or,
And is Exhibit 20 the same cigarette butts?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oops.
So where did these cigarette butts come from?
The one
Oops.
came from the middle of the garbage, or that picture, and the rest came from the bottom of the garbage. Or towards the bottom of the garbage can.
Oh my God, how many fucking pictures are there?
To be fair, we have to blame her for taking the photos, but we can blame the defense
Yeah.
attorney for going through each and every one of them.
Already writing the
So of
YouTube
those
report.
5 cigarette butts, which one of those was the one on top of the bloody paper towel?
Oh God.
I don't know.
So you can't tell from that photograph?
No, ma'am.
And you only had a photograph of one cigarette butt in that trash can, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So we don't have a photo of the other 4 in place in the trash can?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
They were probably at the
All right,
bottom
I
of
have
the
more
bag. What are you
questions, but I
doing,
don't
woman?
need you to stand up here anymore.
Gotcha, bitch. He's like, yeah, that was a good argument. Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Uh-oh, the zombie in the back is going to be summoned as well. Looks like he's just waiting for the first zombie moan to set him off.
So would you agree that when you first looked in the black trash can at the scene, you couldn't actually see any bloody paper towels?
Yes, ma'am.
Nicely timed.
And we talked about in the photograph with the cigarette butt, the first one, which is Defendant's Exhibit 13, and you probably can't see them at all now, right?
Unfortunately, we can.
In that one, it looked like the broken piece of the goose, and we agreed that the concave side was up
Yes,
in
ma'am.
that photograph.
Yes, ma'am.
And in the previous picture, possibly that same piece was over towards the side. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you need to come back over and look at the photos, that's okay.
No, it's really not.
So the rotation
Descending
or the
laughter.
orientation of that one piece changed. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So it changed from having the concave side facing the more towards the bottom and the corner of the trash can, and then you
Asked
turned
and
it so
answered.
that the concave side was up. Is that correct?
I didn't turn it, but sometimes
Someone turned it.
when you move stuff out of the garbage can, stuff moves. It just doesn't stay there.
And stuff moves around a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Wait, is
it's
Oh,
OJ
thank
actually
God.
dead?
What was that?
People in chat are saying OJ's dead.
No, he can't have died.
Yep, succumbed to his battle with cancer.
God damn it. Flux. Now what are we going to do when we go to Vegas? God damn it.
Son of a bitch, you were keeping him alive by drawing. You were providing him with life essence by doing that trial. You ended it prematurely, so you killed him.
Dude, I'm gutted by this. I'm gutted by this. On April 10th, Orenthal James Simpson succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. The Simpson family. I'm actually gutted by this. That was part of the whole reason for meeting up in Vegas at the end of next month. Was Ari Jacob was going to take us to all of OJ's hangouts.
Oh no! Now you're just gonna have to spend time with Ari.
Well, we're going to spend time with her anyway. She's going to take us to meet Oj. And now we're just going to have to go to the places where he used to go. I wonder if because apparently there's one sports bar where he always hung out at. I wonder if they're going to do like they did at the Whiskey in Hollywood and for Lemmy when he died, and just put up a statue of him in the corner.
Well, they could do that, or that restaurant that Obama went to where they blocked off the table and put it behind perspex.
Damn it! I'm actually gutted by this. That's like literally why we were going to Vegas. Now I know how all those Lynyrd Skynyrd concert goers felt when they were on their way to the concert and the plane crashed.
Look at it this way. You'll always remember where you were standing when you found out that he was acquitted. And now you'll always remember where you were when he died.
Yeah. Yeah. Ozzy just Jen's close but no cigar with OJ. Oh, I'm sorry. We should have just kept going with the trial, I guess.
You're gutted that he's gone. He was gutted that you stopped.
And Nicole Brown and Goldman were just gutted.
Oh.
Gotta pour one out for my dead homie. Oh, may you rest in hell or heaven, whichever one. God is now the ultimate judge of what happened on that day.
Oh, hang on. I'll grab some alcohol. Get up.
I do not pretend to know what happened on that day. God shall be your only judge of whether you did it or not, and may you reap whatever reward you have sowed. My muse, my OJ, my reason for doing Thursday trials. Damn it. To just rewards, whatever they may be. Huh. All right.
Fuck.
Let's go. All right. Bye, Tammy.
She finds out OJ's gone, and all of a sudden she's got errands to run. Tammy.
I've got errands to run in Ecuador.
Tammy, is the glove gonna fit? What are you doing, woman?
If the grave doesn't fit, you must acquit. Well, shit. All right. Island with a $5 super chat. If someone butchered a goose, there'd be blood, right? Anyone else baffled, fascinated by the goose situation? Just me? Okay, no, it's a ceramic.
It's a porcelain goose.
Yeah, it's like
It was a
some
statue.
sort of cookie jar or knickknack or something.
Yes,
Damn.
Alabama Rose. It broke about 13 minutes ago.
Yeah. So going back to our like and subscribe poll, what's your biggest regret? In last places, it's not OJ. Well, OJ is not anymore. All right. Shit. Well, intercourse me. It's time to. It's at times like this you've just got to move on. Dead.
Damn it,
Flux.
KY, now I gotta check that.
Dead homies. Flux. Now we got to think of something else to do in Vegas. And by the way, if anybody does happen to be in the Las Vegas area from the 25th to the 28th of May, Flux and Jess, Moxie Dame, and we apparently have more time now than we thought we'd have while we're in Vegas. So if you happen to be in the Vegas area or plan on being in the Vegas area from May 25th to the night of the 27th, hit us up in our DMs and we'll be somewhere and we'll let you know where we are and maybe share a drink and hang out. And Utah, I'll be in Utah from the 28th of May through the 8th of June. Well, through the 7th of June. I leave early in the morning on the 8th. We'll be doing our usual two hangouts and there in Utah while I'm there. I'll schedule to be determined later. All right. Damn. Island also with the $5. On a lighter note, I was just listening and missed that it was a ceramic goose. Just kept hearing about goose parts and got confused. I'm blonde. Stiff upper lip, chuff chuff in it. There you go. Oh, all right. All right. Flux, you now have a task of thinking of something else to do in Vegas. Guess we'll just have to go watch cheap strip shows. See some Las Vegas titties.
Shame.
We'll just have to go
Also,
see
this
some
just
cheap
in,
titties.
if strip clubs are back on the cards, then this just in, there may be a 24-hour stream coming up, people.
They were never off the table. There's just going to be more of them.
Thanks for telling me now.
It's Vegas. What the hell do you think we're going to do? As a matter of fact, we're in the hotel we're staying. They actually have apparently a topless show there that night. So cool.
You picked a hotel? What was the one thing I asked you to do?
It was just picked today. It was just
lying,
picked. No, Flux, was it picked today or was it not picked today? It was literally picked 11 hours and about 12 minutes ago.
And we've been texting for how long today?
Look, I've cursed out my front door and my dog's water dish. That's how I've been going today. So all right. Oh, Circus was never on the list. That place smells of cigarettes in 1980. Circus is the place to be avoided. What a
you have to feel right at home, but that's not the point. Play the damn video.
Yeah. Circus was cool until about 76, 77. And then it's just been a horror, and it hasn't changed. I was in Circus 2 years ago. I went to show my son. I'm like, this is where I used to go. Circus is great. You know, they have all these rides up there for the kids while the parents are down there getting liquored up and being degenerate gamblers. And we just walked in. I'm like, oh God, it just smells like it did when I was 8.
What the fuck were you doing in Circus at 8?
No, see that like they have like the gambling pit down there where the parents are, but the upper level is like for children. It's got like there's like an indoor roller coaster and some games like carnival games and things, and they serve you like virgin cocktails, things like that. So you feel like you're a cool adult, but it just smells like shit in there. And the carpet is exactly the same carpet's been in there since like 1960. And it just like the smell of cigarettes is just permeating the walls, and it's just awful.
Cigarettes and shame.
Yeah, it's just sad. I'm sad. Thursdays will never be the same. Rip OJ. All right, let's get on with this.
If we have 3 items. Let's say we have 3 items, and one of these items, this manila folder, is going to represent the the concave, the broken piece of the goose. And then this yellow legal pad in the middle here is going to be the bloody paper towel, okay? And this purple folder is going to be the cigarette butt. Would you agree that that's the orientation of those three pieces in Defendant's Exhibit 13?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay. Would you agree in the photo that we have the broken piece of statuary on the bottom? And I'm talking about these three items, the statuary, the bloody paper towel, and the cigarette butt.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have that on the bottom, right? We have that broken piece of goose.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
me. I'm just a
And
broken piece
then-
of goose at this point.
On top of that, we have the bloody paper towel.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on top of that, we have a cigarette butt.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So in the previous picture, would you agree that those items are oriented more in this direction, where that concave side is not up, it's facing this direction?
Oh, shut up.
I'd have to look at the pictures again.
Okay. Feel free to look at the pictures.
She's not answering from her memory, though. She's looking at what's in the pictures. And it's irrelevant.
Yep. She does have really nice
Can you
hair,
give
though.
exhibit number, please?
Please tell me you're talking about the blonde.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the piece I'm talking about where the concave side is up, where we have this orientation, okay, with the statuary, the bloody paper towel, and the cigarette butt. Okay, would you agree that's what we have in Exhibit 15?
Yes.
Okay. And then in Exhibit 14, we have, okay, that's a close-up of Exhibit 15. But in Exhibit 11, let's see. Okay. In Exhibit 11, would you agree that that's the same piece of the broken goose?
No.
Okay. And how is that different?
Just. Oh, I can't hear y'all.
You need to speak up.
Sorry.
Just speak up.
Okay, so
What's the response?
I said, this little lip right here, I don't see in this picture of the goose.
okay, and this you identified earlier in Exhibit 11 as a bloody paper towel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're saying that this is not the same piece as that piece?
I'm just saying,
And-
I don't see this part on that piece at all.
Okay. So can we see that piece at all in Exhibit 11? That piece with the cigarette butt in it in 13?
No. Not that I can see.
All right, thanks.
Jill M. Dr. Smith. Oh, the pain. The pain. Thank
Pain
you
of it
so
all.
much.
Would you agree that based on the progression of these photographs that we've been looking at, that the contents of this trash can were moved around a number of times?
They seem to have moved a little bit, yes.
Okay. And items were moved sometimes when other items were lifted out?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's also possible that items within that trash can were moved in transit from the scene to the sheriff's office, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that they were moved. I don't think there would be any way they would move.
So you you left the scene, you drove down the interstate probably, got off at Fairfield, drove to the sheriff's office. So it's 11 miles roughly. Did you take any steps to secure the contents within the trash can to keep them from moving during that journey?
No, I just put them in the big bag. or the garbage can in the big leaf bag and put things around it to keep the garbage can from moving.
So it's possible that even though the garbage can itself may not have moved, the contents inside may have moved. Is that right?
I guess.
No, someone moved the contents. The contents did not move in and of themselves. They're inanimate objects, you idiot.
I'm assuming his DNA is on one of the
And you would
cigarette butts.
agree that you don't have any photograph to document the condition of the trash can, the contents of the trash can, when you started to examine it at the lab?
Not before I took the plastic padding out.
So you can't verify that it was in the same condition when you arrived at the lab that it was when you left with it at the scene.
No, ma'am.
Fuck.
And those items that were in the trash can, there's no way you can tell how long they were in there.
No, ma'am.
And inside the purses, isn't it true that the only items in there were expired credit cards, expired IDs, that type of thing?
Just what was in the pictures. I don't know if they were expired.
And you don't know whether those purses were in the trash can because someone had just thrown them away because they were old, right?
I have no idea.
Did you ever swab those credit cards that were taken out of the trash can for DNA?
There were swabs from the cards and from the personal items.
Okay, but you don't know what the results were, right?
No, ma'am, I do not.
And with these 5 cigarette butts, you testified that you can't tell which one of those was the one that was on top of the bloody paper towel.
No, ma'am.
Did you label them A, B, C, D, and E, or was that someone else?
I don't recall.
This is not doing anything that she thinks it's doing.
I get what she's reaching for, but she could have done it in 15 minutes. She's trying to say that presumably one of the cigarette butts has his DNA on it. Because she moved it around and didn't take a photograph to establish that it was on the top of the trash before it was moved, it therefore moved around in the trash can, and you cannot use that to establish time frame because it could be there from the bottom of whenever.
See, I think she's going somewhere else. I think she's going with the contaminated crime scene. You don't know what was in the garbage can. You don't know what wasn't in the garbage can. You don't know where any of this is. It's been rummaged through. It's been messed with. There's no inventory of what was in there. The pictures don't make sense. You funged this thing up. This is worse than the OJ crime scene. I think that's where she's going, but it's not. It's literally not.
That's probably more likely than what I was thinking. But either way, she could have done this in probably 6 questions inside, 15, 20 minutes tops, even with going through the photos that she deliberately put out of order. I'm sorry, you can't tell me she didn't do that to confuse the jury. There was no reason why they should have been in that order. It literally goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So you would not have given them a designation, or you just don't remember?
I just don't remember.
Okay.
So you're shit at your job because you don't
And
remember
when they were
anything.
sent to the lab for analysis, you don't do DNA analysis, correct?
No, ma'am, I do not.
So you would have to send them out to
I don't
someone?
send them, but the investigators send them.
Okay. And at the scene, you were not asked to take any photographs of the shed in the backyard, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
I got a brief pause here. Paranoia 7 says OJ Simpson just passed away. Yeah, we did about a 5-minute tribute here a little while ago. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for thinking of us over here. We've acknowledged his passing and the fact that Flux and Jess and I and anyone else who happens to be there, Aussie Overlord, won't be meeting up with OJ next month when we go to Vegas. But luckily, it is Las Vegas, so I'm sure there's a spiritual medium or someone that can hook us up.
Okay, but only if we can talk to Michael too. I have questions.
All right. I know you just got here, and that's why I said thank you for thinking about us. It's muchly appreciated. All right, let's go.
That was correct. Yes.
Home
ma'am.
stretch. The last 10 minutes.
And it's possible that there were some items of evidentiary value in that shed that were not photographed, correct?
The investigators looked in the shed. Had there been anything of evidentiary value, I would have taken pictures of it.
If you'd been asked to photograph it, you would have, correct?
If somebody would have told me there was something in there, yes, ma'am.
And there were some boxes on the bed behind John Smith that had blood spatter on them.
Yes, ma'am.
And one of them even had human hair on it. Do you recall that?
No, ma'am.
Hopefully they'll have him buried in the next
But you
6
didn't
weeks.
take
Yeah.
any of those boxes. You didn't collect any of those, correct?
Correct.
If I change my
And
icon to a
you
picture of
didn't take
OJ
any
as an angel, is that
photographs of a
cultural
floor safe.
appropriation?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Screw it,
And
I'm
at the
doing it anyway.
time you took these photographs, you had been working at the sheriff's office for over 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And part of your job was to submit reports detailing your work on a case.
Yes, ma'am.
And obviously accuracy is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. So you were not accurate, so you suck, and so therefore he's innocent.
And do you recall that you didn't file, or you filed your first report documenting your work on November 16th of 2015?
I don't know what day
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to look at your report?
I have my report.
Okay.
Blasphemer. Blasphemer.
If I could direct you to page 23 of the 33-page report.
Oh my
Yes, ma'am.
God. 33-page
Um,
report. Scary.
Would you agree that you submitted this narrative on December 15th of 2015?
Where it says were added on 12/15.
Supplemental narrative, yes, added on 12/15.
That's the day the secretary added it to the report.
Okay.
I have no way of knowing what day I was actually submitted it to her.
Okay.
I dare you to get ChatGPT to write his obituary.
Okay.
And if we can talk about the photographs for just another minute. We agreed a few minutes ago that there were some items that were in the black trash can that you didn't actually take photographs
Internal
of
server
while they were
error.
still in the trash can. Correct. So we don't have any way of knowing what
It's
the
working
position
now.
of some of those items was in relation to other items, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that you or someone helping you did shift items around both at the scene and at the lab within that trash can?
I didn't shift anything around. No. I mean, maybe when you pull stuff out, stuff moves, but I didn't like purposely shift anything around.
Okay, but you would agree that in the photos that we've gone through, from one photo to the next, we have things that have moved from one location to another in the
Yes.
trash can?
Yes.
Oh my God, it was put in a car. Of course crap was going to move around.
So we can't document the original location of a
Oh
number of
God.
those.
Why
items,
does
correct?
this? How does this
Yes.
prove he's not guilty?
That's all my
It
question.
doesn't.
How does it mitigate? I mean, he doesn't have to prove he's not guilty, but how does it help the defense? Is the proper way of doing that. I'll think. What the fuck? She's done? What? All right. I must have. What was the last question? I'm going to go back 1 minute. What?
We don't have any way of knowing what the position of some of those items was in relation to other items, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that you or someone helping you did shift items around both at the scene and at the lab within that trash can?
I didn't shift anything around, no. I mean, maybe when you pull stuff out, stuff moves, but I didn't like purposely shift anything around.
Okay, but you would agree that in the photos that we've gone through, from one photo to the next, we have things that have moved from one location to another in the
Yes.
trash can?
Yes.
So we can't document the original location of a number of those items, correct?
Yes.
That's all my questions.
Mother.
That was an hour and 15 minutes of just weirdness.
And irrelevance.
That was literally an hour and 15 minutes of absolutely nothing.
Unless, and this is a swinging for the fence, if they've got somebody as a defense witness that will jump on the fact that she said all this, and that's giving them way too much credit. Is it if they've got someone that can use that to prove that he was not involved or some shit like that? That's the only thing that I could think of, because that was otherwise a fucking waste of a time.
Easter Bunny trash can has trash. Mic drop.
Pretty much says it all. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Alan Walsh with a 10 pounds. It's sad. Thursdays will never be the same. Rip OJ. Yeah, I'm sad too. We were 6 weeks away from filming, hopefully filming an interview with OJ. Ginger with a soul member for 10 months. The official the official emoji of the Hartung trial. Surprised, weird, baffled face. And paranoia. OJ Simpson just passed away. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for those chats. We have apparently 5 minutes of redirect, and that's it. And then we'll spend our third. We'll wrap up our third week of going, huh? She has this what look on her face too. Like, all right. She looks at it like you wasted my fucking time.
Ms. Rollins, Ms. Wilson spent however long
An hour and 15
going
minutes.
through the details of your addiction issues and your legal problems, correct?
Correct.
Yep, 30 minutes.
So the jury's clear. Your legal problems began in 2018, correct?
Correct.
And that was based on addiction issues from 2017.
Correct.
And your addiction to opiates occurred at least 2 years after your work on this case, correct?
Correct.
Now,
all right.
Ms. Wilson
Chalk one up
also
for me.
talked to you about your plea offer in this case. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hire a lawyer for your case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And was your plea offer negotiated between your attorney and Assistant State Attorney John Mulchan?
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't have anything to do with Bridget Jensen,
No, ma'am.
Trey Myers?
No, ma'am.
And speaking on your plea agreement, Ms. Ross,
And this right here, the tears, the sad face, the sniffling, that's why the defense should not have done what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're big, bad, mean, bully defense lawyers trying to get their client off by bringing up horrible parts of this woman's past that had nothing to do with this case. That's why you don't do what they did. This might be enough to convict the guy right there. They're gonna go, okay, the prosecution are a bunch of mean assholes. I mean, the defense are a bunch of mean assholes. We don't like them. They're mean. They're mean to this poor woman.
More to the point, if the jury's paying attention, they've just realized that, oh yeah, by the way, The defense just spent, what, an hour and a half tearing this woman apart, talking about irrelevant crap that literally has nothing to do with this case. They just wasted an hour of our time that we could have went to lunch.
Yep. Stingy the $2. Sorry to derail. Breaking OJ died at 76. Yeah, we've already covered it like twice. Thanks, Stinge. Thanks for the $2. Seriously, appreciate the support. Appreciate you thinking about us when things go wrong. Thank you very much. OJ has left the building. Wow, I live in Nevada and didn't hear anything about it. It was just announced, what, like half hour ago. So it'll be there soon. An island with the $2. This case was wild when there was goose carnage, just saying.
Rollins, you were not taking these pills and dealing them to others, were you?
No, ma'am.
This was the first time that you had been in criminal trouble, was it not?
Correct.
And you got fired from your job of 14 and a half years, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You went to rehab, did you not?
Yes.
And did you successfully complete rehab?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And at the time of your plea negotiations, had you maintained sobriety?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, you already testified that your actions at the sheriff's office evidence room did not affect any criminal investigations, did it?
No, ma'am.
And do you know if any of those factors even came into play in your plea offer?
I have no idea.
Now, Ms. Rollins, your plea offer, are you okay?
Yeah.
Your plea offer,
Excuse me, can counsel approach for a second, please?
He better not be telling the prosecution to move
Lay off.
along.
Yeah.
After what the defense did, he better not be doing that. And judging by the fact there's only 2.5 minutes left, 3 minutes left,
That's
that's
exactly
probably
what
what
he
he's
did.
doing.
Yeah.
now, Ms. Wilson also was talking
Yep.
to you about your plea
That's
offer.
what they did. Oh, no.
Your plea offer said to testify truthfully. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that could be for the state, right?
Correct.
Or it could be for the defense.
Correct.
The defense can call you as a witness as well, correct?
Correct.
And your plea offer didn't say, tell the state what they want to hear, did it?
No, it did not.
Ms. Wilson asked you about the black trash can being moved at the home. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it standard operating procedure not to move anything until photographs are taken?
Correct.
And she showed you a picture, and it's her Defense Exhibit 8, which she says is her last picture she's showing you of the trash can at the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then her first picture of the trash can at the lab does not have this doily carpet thing you talked about, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you remove the doily carpet thing at the scene or at the lab?
At the lab.
Was anything removed from the black trash can at the scene on Deerfield Drive?
No, ma'am, it was not.
And did you photograph items as best you could, layer by layer or item by item?
Layer by layer.
Now, Ms. Rollins, you don't have before you all the photographs that you took in the 80 hours you processed the scene in 2015,
No,
correct?
ma'am, there were 700 photos.
I'm sorry?
In excess of 700 photos.
Okay. So do you remember either the first or the last picture that you took of the trash can or its contents?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Wilson asked you about the shifting of items in the trash can. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you put the trash can in your crime scene car, secured as best you could?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you do donuts in your car from the scene to the sheriff's office?
No, ma'am.
When you got to the lab, did you shake the trash can up or tip it upside down?
No, ma'am.
Did you do your best to remove the items layer by layer?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you photograph them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
The 5 cigarette butts. You testified earlier that there were 4 at the bottom, correct?
Correct.
And then there was one that was pictured in the photographs of the trash can.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you said it was either toward the top or toward the middle.
Yes, ma'am.
Are cigarette butts like items? Like they're
Yes.
similar items?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they come from the same location,
Yes, ma'am.
the trash can?
Yes, ma'am.
Those are my questions. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. That's whatever that
Good
was.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Oh, good. Oh, God. That's just starting this one over again. I thought it was like going into the next video in the link. I'm like, oh, my God, she's still on the stand somehow. Whew. That was whatever that was.
That was a defense attorney doing everything she could to obfuscate the actual facts of the matter. Because I can see that even in chat, some people are confused as to the timeline. Correct me if I'm wrong. When were these people murdered? What year?
2015.
And her addiction started in 2017. She was caught in 2019.
Yep.
And that's when she lost her job. People, she was not a junkie at the time that she acted on this crime scene. Let's make that clear. And that's the problem. That's exactly what the defense attorney did. She went in and she muddied the waters enough that she's confused people. And that's all she had.
That was weird. So I said that she's not going to make any point that she couldn't have made in the first 3 pictures. I guess I was wrong in the fact that she didn't make any point.
Nope.
Stuff got moved around.
The defense attorney's a vampire. No, look, the simple fact of the matter is, people, there is an adage, and it is still as apt today as it was the first time it was said. If you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you have nothing, pound the table. That's exactly what she just did. She just wasted an hour and a half of people's lives counting the table.
Yeah. Well, shoot. I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm like really genuinely stunned. What did you get out of that whole thing? The prosecution just did what you have to do with a forensic expert. This is what we did. This is what we saw. This is what we took pictures of. But what, if anything, did you get out of the defense?
Like I said, the only thing that I can think is that they've got some sort of expert that they're going to bring in later on to try and testify that some piece of evidence that was in that trash can was either planted or it was from a time not related to the crime. And even that is a stretch in my mind.
Yeah, we'll just we'll just have to see. Ozzy Just Jen, what she got out of it today was don't be a dick.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Dang. All right then. I did at Ozzy's behest ask Chat GPT to write an obituary for O.J. Simpson.
Oh, you make it sound like I twisted your arm so hard with that.
At your behest, I did. I hadn't thought about that, but you're slightly weirder than I am, so you thought of it, and I did it. Here lies Orenthal O.J. Simpson. Orenthal James O.J. Simpson, the man who could outrun defenders but couldn't quite outrun controversy. With a career that zigzagged between football glory and legal drama, O.J. was the ultimate running back both on and off the field. He made headlines for his lightning-fast dashes down the football field, but his most infamous sprint will forever be his white Bronco joyride. Who knew a car chase could be both riveting and strangely awkward? O.J. had a knack for finding himself in the spotlight, whether he was breaking records, acting in films, or participating in high-profile trials. Let's just say he had a talent for making sure the courtroom drama rivaled any Hollywood blockbuster. In his later years, O.J. tried his hand at various endeavors, from reality TV appearances to, well, let's just say his pursuits were as unpredictable as his running style. As we bid farewell to the man who lived life at full throttle, we can't help but wonder if the real mystery he left behind is how he managed to elude tacklers and tabloids alike for so long. Rest in peace, O.J. May you find smoother fields to run on in the great beyond, and who knows, maybe even a few less controversial headlines.
Ashes
Hi,
to
Oj.
ashes, dust to dust, gloves to gloves.
Yep. All righty then. Well, I'm starting to get the sneaky suspicion that witches did the murders is going to be a defense strategy rather than he did it in a witchcraft manner. I don't know yet. I don't even know where all this came from. All I know is that that's what the headline said. And at some point in this trial, a Wiccan high priest is called as a witness. So somebody is going to forward this idea. I just don't know who, when, or how long it's going to be. Perhaps next week will be our lucky week.
I'm going to laugh so freaking hard if the title of that case came from like a single throwaway line in like week 27 and it actually has nothing to do with it.
This is actually a really short trial.
Oh, really?
We're probably 20% of the way through now.
Oh, no shit. There you go. He was cursed as a baby. What is this? Which movie is it? Like Paranormal Activity, where it turns out to be like a coven of witches or some shit like that? Is this really where we're going, people?
It's the old no true Wiccan fallacy. Just kidding. All right. All righty then. What if for lunch they get a bunch of garlic bread? What? What?
Not that Susan. Bullcrapioso.
Yeah. I was down there. What if for lunch they get a bunch of garlic bread delivered? All right. Well, there we go. Humph. Wow, that was a stellar waste of everybody's time today. To the 300 of you that were watching, I apologize. That was like as dull and weird as it gets. Yes.
In a certain way, I do feel like that's a little bit educational for the viewers as well, because the simple fact of the matter is we occasionally have to sit through shit like that is entirely irrelevant and boring, and you can't actually say anything necessarily because if they're still making reasonable questions and it's tangentially related, there's not a lot you can object to. So congratulations, you just got to sit in an attorney's seat for a little while.
This is classified by Court TV as one of the legendary trials of all time.
Yeah, but Court TV, some of the shit they say on Twitter.
Well, next week we have a hottie on the stand, crime scene technician Lindsay Eliopoulos.
Oh,
she's a looker.
Oh,
I mean, like a serious looker. She'll be on there next week. For how long? How long is she on the stand for?
Like 6 minutes.
54 minutes. So we'll probably get through her and a little bit of
We'll get through her or a refractory period and a little bit more of her. I like it.
Yeah. Rusty Bjornson. Oh, we heard Rusty Bjornson's name there. And Lawrence Masita of the crime scene unit. They take the stand following hottie person. Oh, and apparently there are fingerprints because latent print examiner Rachel Smith is also in the next session. So there we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, cool. That's it for this week, people. Let's see where we're going to send you. See who's a doing what. That was weird. All right. Usually the crime scene investigator is the most boring of all witnesses because literally they're the one that has to go, I took the pictures. Here's all the pictures. She's done. So now we're moving into the actual evidence. All right. Customization. Redirect.
I'm not sure how much of my chat's still in here from before, but apparently Megan's going through the Laura Owens bar complaint. So they may get some laughs out of that. I went through it very briefly during my research session to get up to speed with things, and oh my God.
I got chat. Megan Fox. Let's go over to Megan Fox. Fetal attraction bar complaints. Why not? All right, everybody, we're going to send you on over to Megan Fox. Tell her hi from Legal Vices. Tell them I sent you over there. And we'll catch you tomorrow evening, Friday evening. is when we do our deal. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about or exactly what's going on. I'll figure it out. Well, I do know one thing we're going to be talking about, but Ozzy's going to talk about it first, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yes,
we
but
may
I'm going to
just-
talk about that tomorrow morning. So I'm sure you'll be able to find a little bit more of it.
Yeah, Friday evening will probably just be a chill, weird legal news roundup thing. Because I got a lot of weird stories to talk about and things and a few updates. So that might, I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be Friday evening, right around 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you then. And then Monday will be a Maritime Monday of some sort. We'll see you there, folks. And make sure you get on over and subscribe over to Aussie Overlord, who's going to give himself the final grift of the day.
Aussie Overlord, folks, on YouTube, X, preferably on X if you could, Rumble, and don't forget, tomorrow morning, yes, Lady Overlord is taking over the stream for a whole, I don't know, hour and a half. We'll see exactly how long she lasts. She's already got pre-drinks loaded, so that's going to be interesting because she's a lightweight. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, folks. So make sure you tune in. But yeah, as always, remember, you're not a piece of shit. You have value and you do contribute to society, especially hitting that like button for Jeff, who is that way, not that way. And yeah, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. And for me, mods, thank you for being mod. The mod squad is awesome. The Vice squad is equally awesome. We're going to go on over to Megan Fox now. So just thank you all for your support. We got about halfway to Doggo Cam. Yoda was depressed. We'll see you all later. Thank you, chat. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just being here. And thank you for trying to figure out what the hell was going on together with all of us. Go say hi to Megan. I am out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, Ozzy. Bye, peeps. Bye, bye, bye.